Show me your ways, Lord, and teach me your paths. 25:4. Hey y'all, it's your girl Holiday Season. I'm back with another story time. And as y'all already know, I ain't talked to y'all in a minute and I just miss y'all so much. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure y'all follow all of my social medias just so that y'all are keeping up with what I do. What I do. It's what I do. It's what I do. It's what I do. So, okay, basically, somebody said they wanted a story time about how I met cancer or whatever. So I was just like, okay, I could do a story time about that. So basically, we was all out, and basically I was with Rosie or whatever. I was with Rosie, and that night, like, we would always just go and hang out at this certain place. Not gonna really say the certain place, and we always would be there. So when we was always there, like, it'd be just like random people in there coming in, and we just would be so full of life, and like people would just gravitate towards us. So one day we was like, okay, we finna go to the place, and then it was just a thing, and we would stay there all night after we do like I said, after we'll do the orders and everything, because y'all know whatever, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So after we would meet a certain quota or whatever, we'll be like, okay, we finna go here, and then that'll be like our fun, because at some point I felt like I needed a certain structure, because that's what I needed. So basically, it was just time to go there. So basically, and we all sitting there, we'll order us something to eat, and you know, like, talk with the people, blah blah blah, and then in walked somebody, right? And I was just like, you know, he wasn't saying anything, he was just to himself, and like I was just like, okay, I'm finna just start talking to him. So basically I had started talking to him, and then he came over there and he sat with us, right? So basically when he sat with me or whatever, yeah, so yeah, okay, let me just get in, because I got to tell the story how later on in the years, like, how everything came together. So basically, okay, so before cancer came in, I got to say this or whatever. So it was like another guy that was talking to Rosie or whatever, and like he was talking, and he was just like going into detail about what he liked on his food or whatever. So like he was like, I like this about my food, I want this on the certain thing. I ain't gonna say the certain thing because it just gives too much. He was like, I like this on my certain, I like this on this, and I like that on that. Let's just say it was a cheeseburger. He was like, I like onions on my cheeseburger, I like pickle slices, I like tomatoes, I just like all this stuff on my burger, and I just have to have it like that. And he was just like, I got this pet snake and this and all of that, right? And I'm just kind of saying, because I don't want to give exact stuff, because people be on my stuff anyway. So he was just like, and so we was like, wow, you got a pet. So let's just say he said like a wild, I don't want to say a snake, because snakes, they can be wild, but it was just like something out of the wild zoo. Let's just say like a raccoon. He said, I got a pet raccoon at home, and he just was showing us pictures of the little pet raccoon or whatever, and we just so intrigued. We like, so what you feed it? Like, what you do to this? Like, how do you do this, and how do you do this, and like whatever. So he just going into detail about it, blah blah blah, and we eating it up. He probably could have said, it go walk on the moon at night, and I come and get it, and we were like, oh, okay, like, you know, that's cool or whatever. So whatever, so he kept going on and on and on and on, and I just noticed, I was like, this man don't stop talking. So you kind of tell, like, Rosie, she really wasn't like a mean person, so she was just going into it. I kind of was too, but I kind of had checked out, because it's just like after a person just keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, and I'm noticing like a little bit it kind of makes sense, but a little bit it kind of don't. I kind of can check out a little bit, like, I don't know, like probably like how y'all probably do with my story times. Because are you watching them through? Retention say, okay, watch my story time all the way through. So yeah, so he just talking like that, blah 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 blah, keep going on and on about doggone whatever he was eating. And then he was just like, so what, like he started like asking her certain questions or whatever. So boom, off of them. So then at this time it's getting real late, so I was almost like, I'm ready to go, but something was like, just wait a little bit. So in walks cancer, and so he ordered what he had, and it was something similar to the dude. That should have been red flag. It was something similar to what the dude had, right? So he was like, and I noticed like I just kept looking over there because at this time I just felt like, I don't know, I was just in the spirit to where I felt like I could get anybody I wanted. You ever like been in that in life, like, oh, I could get anybody I want, I just kind of want to see, can I get them? It was like that. But he came over there like, no, actually I was just like, hey, how you doing? He was like, hey, and like he looked like he was like, because he smoked up here, because you could see it in his face. So basically, he was just over there, and I remember like he had to be so high, because I'm like, why he looking like that? And like I remember telling Rosie, I was like, I think something like wrong with his face, because he's like he acting like he's like kind of stuck. We're gonna tell you why it's probably was stuck. But anyway, I was like, he looked like his face is like kind of stuck to the side or something. Like, what's wrong with him? And I was like, I hope, like, he ain't. It was kind of mean to me to say that now that I think about it, because, like, but this is back then, y'all. This is back then. I just got to tell the story about how I was thinking. I was like, why his face like that? So she was just like, she kind of laughed, but she was like, I don't think anything wrong with him. Because I was thinking, like, was he kind of, like, crazy? Like, I don't know, because, like, how he was like, y'all, I hate to do the face because it'll be kind of, like, picking. I really don't want to pick. But the face was just kind of, like this part wasn't moving and he was just smiling. So I was like, but later on we gonna know why he did that, why he was like that, because he was off that. You get what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna say a name because I really don't know what it was, but I just knew after a while, because like y'all already know from the other story time. So basically I'm just like, that's whatever. I ain't really paying no mind. But as the conversation progressed, I was like, okay, he seemed like a really cool person. So I was just like, okay, so one of the first questions I always used to ask, like, where you work? Like, I just needed to know that. So he was just telling me where he worked and everything. He like, okay, yeah. And then he was like, I'm about to, he ended up saying, I was like, so what you doing tonight? He was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. He was like, no. He said he didn't really know what he was doing. He was just like, he finna go back home, eat his food, blah, blah, blah. Because he had really kind of had got his food. I think, no, he had already ate his food. Because we ended up sitting at the countertop talking. Y'all, we hit it off really quick. So basically, we up there taking pictures. Like, first day we met, like, sitting up there taking pictures, flicking it up, flick, right? So basically, Rose is sitting over there smiling at us like, okay, like that or whatever, right? So I was just like, yeah, look at us getting married tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, she was just like, we just kept going. But I noticed like after he left or whatever, it was just kind of like, I think she kind of had stopped worrying about the dude that she was with. But I'm pretty sure it was times where she probably felt like maybe I was just in her business too much too. So, but whatever. So I just progressed on with whatever I was doing. So by the time he was finna go to the car, I was like, okay, whatever. He was like, you want to come to the car with me? I was like, yeah, I'll come to the car with you. Because at this time, man, I ain't nobody care about, somebody being abducted, this and this. Ain't nobody care about that. I was just like, just met a guy. He seemed cool. He didn't give me like, he would harm me. That's what I was thinking back then. Yeah, so instantly when we get in the car, whatever, he just like, so yeah, like, what you doing tomorrow, whatever, right? And I was just like, oh, I ain't doing anything or whatever, right? So he was just like, but anyway, he was just telling me like he lived with family members, and basically that's what he was just telling me, like he lived with his family member, his sister was. So I was just like, okay, cool, you live with your sister, that's what's up. So he was just like, I just come down here, to get like to start off on a better foot. Like I don't want to be like he just come for a new start. And so I was like, that's pretty good. And he was telling me the place he worked. I didn't really know too much about that, but back then I just feel like a job is a job, everybody just living in and making it. So he was just like, what about tomorrow? Like, do you want to come to like eat with us at her house or whatever? So I was just like, okay, yeah, that'll be cool. Like I could do that or whatever. So he was just like, okay, yeah, just, hit me up. So we end up exchanging numbers, blah, 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 blah. And so instantly when I got back in there or whatever, he was like, hey, don't you be up all night. Don't you be in there all night or whatever. You need to go home. So I was just like, okay. I thought it was so cute and flattering. Like, Yeah. So I go back in there. So we all just talking. I'm just kind of like feeling a little light. You know, after you feel like you got you somebody, you feeling light on your feet. Like you feel like, oh my God, wedding bells. You just you just be thinking like whatever. And this another thing too. Don't be thinking like I be like reminiscing and like and still have feelings for that person. It's just I'm giving my story times, and maybe like these story times can help someone else, because a lot of times people don't talk about what they go through. So maybe if somebody hear my story time, they could talk about what they go through and not feel bad about what they went through. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like I just want to sit up here and talk about everybody, because that's why I give them fake names. I can't help if you may know my story, or you may know the people that consist of my story. This is not for you to go back and tell them and then they come here acting a fool. Okay? Because I've waited 2 years to tell all these stories that I want to tell, just so that I could get these people off of my mental, and hopefully I'm off of their mental. But now it seems that I'm never off of their mental, because you're still here being miserable. And I just want to say that anyway. So anyway, at this point, I felt like I was ready to go home. And so she was like, okay, who is that? I was like, she was like, my friend like him. I was like, I do. I was like, then I was ready to go home. I ain't gonna care. Like I was kind of ready to go home, because yeah. So anyway, we end up leaving, whatever. It's the next day, right? Remember he said he wanted me to come over there to eat dinner, whatever. Came over there to eat dinner. So I put on my bed. I feel like I have tried to put on my bed stuff, but back then it's like I had clothes, but you know how like you used to buy the clothes from Shein, and like it wasn't what you expected it to have been. Like it was just like I got all this stuff, but I don't really like it. So it was just, I was just trying to find the best stuff, because I'm like, he told me he from this certain place. I know they probably put that stuff on, and he telling me where he live at, and I was like, that's kind of like a good neighborhood. Let me try to put on my good clothes, even though I live in a good neighborhood as well. But it was just, he just seemed like he had it together at this point, right? So, and I was young too. Let's say I think I was like 19, 20. Had to be like 19, 20. I think, yeah, it had to be, because we met in, yeah, it had to be like 19 to 20. So basically, I was just talking, we was talking on my way over there or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm so ready, like, to get over there and see what it's going. But at the same time, I'm kind of nervous. So he was just like, before we got over there, I think we had fell asleep on the phone. Not really fell asleep, but it was just like we had talked on the phone that night before or whatever. So I was just telling him like, you know, I really didn't have anything to wear. He was like, it don't matter, just find something, put it on, and just come, because like she ready to, you know, start eating or whatever. We don't want to really eat without you. So I'm like, okay, cool. Everything was good with me and Cancer in the beginning. Like, wasn't nothing really wrong with the relationship, but I kind of felt like it was just the wrong person. I don't know, like it was the age gap, and I don't know. I just felt like, yeah. Anyway, so I get over there, right? And so I pull up with my little car, pull up. Yeah, so basically when we pull up, I get out the car and instantly like go in, and he kind of like, actually he come out there and he meet me. He was like, you look good. Can I get a hug? I was like, okay. And I gave him a hug. So immediately when we came to the door, his sister was right there at the door, and she was just like, hey. And so like I didn't know what to do, because I felt like I knew she was telling me how old she was. So it was like okay, I don't know what to do, say hey ma'am or like what. So I gave her a hug. So when I gave her a hug, she was like, oh, you're a hugger. And I was like, I didn't know how to take that, because I thought that was just kind gestures, like how you should hug people. But now I totally understand. You probably really shouldn't hug people. I guess. What y'all think? I don't know. Like back then, I felt like a hug was just a kind gesture. But now I kind of get that. I don't know. What y'all do? Do y'all get hugs when y'all first meet people? Let me know in the comments. So basically, I was just over there and I was just talking. I was like, hey, and then like I seen like she had, you know, children. So I was just like talking to the children or whatever, and the kids love to like play with Cancer. So I was just watching them play, and I was just like, oh, he good with kids. Why is they popping fireworks? And so instantly, let's keep this in mind. Cancer was like 30-something years old. The sister was probably like 40-something. So basically, it was just kind of like, she was like interrogating me like I was somebody to come and cause him harm. No, my people should be here interrogating you. But I digress, because at that time, you know, it was just whatever. So basically, she like, yeah, so like what it is that you do, you know, whatever. I'm telling her what I do, where I go to school at the time. She like, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad, you know, you seem like a pretty nice girl. She was like, and like, we don't really invite people over around our children. Me and my husband don't really invite people over around my children. But yeah. She was like, so like, consider this like a pleasure. I'm like, huh? I'm like, he invited me over. So I just didn't understand that. On that end, when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay. But I kind of felt like, okay, it's just a respect thing. This woman like my mama age, you know, so I'm just like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. And time and time go by, right? And so it's time to go home. So when it's time to go home, I'm just like, I don't know, like, I just felt like me and Cancer had a talk or whatever. And I was just like, so, like, how long, you know. I know, like, that night, I think he was just saying, like, he wanted to come over or whatever. So I was just like, yeah, you could come over or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I really didn't care, because at this time, I felt like I had kind of knew him, but not really know him. But I felt like I knew enough. So I had let him come over. So a couple of weeks later, like, we was having this conversation once again, and so I was just like, what's your plans? And I felt like it was my idea for him to move in, and he just went with it because, like, we hit it off so well, and we thought, like, we would be okay in this relationship together. So I noticed, like, his sister, Lil Bit, that was her name. That's her name from the other story time, but I wasn't referring to her as that, right? So basically, she was like, okay, well, I felt like Lil Bit felt some type of way. And basically, he was just saying, like, he wasn't paying for anything over there, but he just felt like he was not really living his life how he wanted to. It's kind of like what his sister had wanted him to do. So, and it was like, he just felt like he didn't really have a lot. So he would always did this thing where he would like always compare himself to his like sister or whatever. So when she had a lot, he felt like the things he had wasn't enough because she had more. And let's make sure that we like, comment, share, and subscribe, and dropping a comment, like, and also go subscribe to my other YouTube vlogs with Holla. And he wanted to start off something new. And so I felt like, dang, this would be the perfect thing. And a lot of times we make decisions based off the spur of the moment, like, oh, okay, this will help me with this will help me with that, maybe eventually I'll get back in school. But as time went on and on, it was just like, it felt good in the beginning, but I noticed like the sister, she really didn't like it. Like, and I understand, I guess you want to be protective over your sibling, but it was just like she didn't like it. So one day we all ride in the car, like I said, we do orders or whatever, right? And I was just already kind of peed off that day. So I was just like, because it was a $70 Instacart order that came up. And I was like, hurry up, let's get dressed. I want to go. So basically, he was just like really lollygagging, really didn't come on. And I just really wanted to go do this order, right? And he didn't come. So I was just like, man, what is wrong with him? Like, it's getting on my nerves. Like, come on. So by the time I get there and I'm finna swipe it across, it went away. And back then, I used to live by them Instacart orders. Like a $70 one, I ain't gotta do nothing else for the rest of the day. Me and Rosie ain't gotta do nothing for the rest of the day. Like, come on now. Like, that's what I felt like, right? So the thing is gone, and I'm really mad about that. I was like, it's kind of your fault that I didn't get this $70 because you were all like gagging. I should have just went without you. But anywho, he was just like, okay, you can't blame that on me or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And like, at this point, it's probably like a couple months later. I'm doing poorly with the timeline, but whatever, a couple months later, right? So he was like, I don't really care. Like, I really didn't really want to be in no relationship anyway. And so I'm like, you could have let off with that. But I kind of felt like he kind of was just, I felt like that probably was how he felt. I ain't care, but I kind of felt like at this point, some stuff had already was getting like crazy already. So it was just kind of like whatever. Like, I think at that point, we probably had, I don't know, did we? Because like I said, he used to take his stuff and move out so many times. Like, I don't even know, like, how he used to pack that stuff. I'm like, that boy gotta be on something, because who is finna keep packing up the whole doggone apartment every time you get mad? I mean, he would pack the TV up, if he could put the couch on top of that car, he would have put it on there, y'all. I swear, like, I know, like, it was just crazy how he would pack all that shit up. It's like, call him Mr. Move, because they ain't get that stuff moved for real. Like, he could pack some like, anyway, so yeah. So at that point, we probably was experiencing some static, but we was still together because of, I felt like in a way we both needed each other financially. A little bit, we did. I feel like we did, but money still was okay. But we knew two was better than one person. So basically, yeah, whatever. So he said that, and I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, first of all, I didn't either. I kind of just wanted a roommate, and like I said that to him, but I feel like I said we both was just telling the truth and how we really felt. But I feel like he loved me. And I felt like, I don't know, I feel like I was kind of just wanting the security of having the bills paid, because up until this point, I was doing it on my own. Like, I was splitting it down with my roommate, but it was just like, even split that cost down the middle too is good too. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I just felt like that was a good thing. So basically, it's like I'm holding on, but I'm like, dang, you saying that? Like, I just was just sweating over you. Maybe at the thing I kind of was, because it was late at night and we was having fun, but you saying that like I just wanted you bad. Like, anyway, yeah, but anyway. So we going on up the road, and like, I'm pissed off, but it's like, I was like, I want me a doggone bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle after this. Like, you really done make me miss $70. Well, I'm gonna see that again. And then y'all know, after you get it, sometimes it don't come back up. It don't let you get it again. So I'm really mad about my Instacart order. So basically, I went there or whatever, and they had like the 2 for back then it used to be big bad, still a bit bad. It was like the 2 for $3. So I was just like, can I get 2 bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits? And so on the way there, we were arguing about it, because I used to get so serious about the Instacart orders, for real. So he was just like, in the speaker, why this man gonna say, dang, you gonna eat all that? And keep in mind, this man used to get like 3 chicken biscuits. I'm talking about not the mac chicken biscuits. I'm talking about the 3 premium chicken. Like, the chicken be like that, 3 of them. How you talk about me now? I don't understand. And why are they shooting fireworks outside? And it's not even that anymore. So basically, I was just like, that's kind of weird. I was like, why would you say that? And then he said it at the job that I used to work at. So by the time I came around there to the window, they probably was like, you know, like, dang, that's kind of embarrassing. And the job that I got beat up at. So basically, you know, we going on around, we get it, whatever. I was like, don't ever do that again. Like, that's one thing about him. He used to love to try to embarrass you in front of people. But it's just like, once you get embarrassed, you be really mad and like almost acting like you want to fight. Like, so just chill out. Because when I get to talk about you, you're not going to like it. Hence why you took my tag. Anyway, so basically, he was just like we ended up going back to the house or whatever, and blah blah blah. And so, but on the way to the house or whatever, he was like, he used to do this thing with like his cousins or whatever, and it was basically like they send videos, but I forgot what it's called. But you play them out. I'm sorry, y'all keep moving my leg. but you play them out and everybody just reply and it sends, and then everybody else just gets to hear it. I don't know what it was called, but yeah. So somebody was like, yeah, wait, see, let's just say, because his name is Cancer, so let's just say, they was like, wait, see it. And so Lil Bit responded to it and was just like, I don't know, he's always laid up with broads. And I felt like he played that out on purpose just so that I could hear it. Like, I swear he played that out on purpose just so I could hear that. Because it's just like, how you gonna let somebody call the person that you talk to a broad? And I felt like he played it out on purpose just because we had just got into it. So I turned around. I swear that car over there to the gas station. I was like, who's she talking about? Because I'm like, this can't be the same person who told me, oh, my husband just don't let anyone around my kids. Oh, this and that and that and that and da. I was just kind of confused. I was like, who's she talking about? I'm like, is it another person? And then like it was like a double entendre. I'm like, is he cheating because broads, or is it like? And usually I knew he was being petty because he would usually put in his headphones, but today he didn't have his headphones and he just playing it out. And this adds on to the part of where I was saying like he like the he had like to use us against each other. Like, say if we was kicking it off too good, he like, oh, I don't like that. Or like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes some people, if they real narcissistic, they'll try to like change narratives a little bit. Like, okay, since I see they getting along good this day, I'm gonna put this in her ear. But then again, it was a part of me felt like Rosie was just who she was. Like, that's just who she was as a person. Like, kind of talking about people or like that. You get what I'm saying? So it was just like, I didn't know what to get from that, because that really kind of confused me. That whole, oh, this and that thing. I don't know. That kind of bothered me, because I'm like, you the one who said I could be around your kid. Like, oh, my husband don't let certain people around the kids. Like, we really trust you with the kids. You know, like, at this point, I don't want like 3 family dinners. So a bride, laid up with a bride. Maybe she could have been talking about somebody else, or maybe she was talking about me. I don't know. So, and then I had told my mom about it. I was like, Mom, she said like a bride, this and this. Because back then, shit, you 19. You don't really care. You like, somebody called me this, I'm finna look it up. So I looked it up. I'm like, bride. And then, so it was just like, my mama going into debate about it. She was like, don't worry about it. You know, bride could be like any girl. You know, it's not like a da. And I'm just like, Mom. So why I'm looking up bride now and see what it means. It said having an ample distance. Oh no. It says a woman. It just say a woman. But when they use it in the sentence, it say, I get drunk, follow the pretty brides, and make a fool of myself. But it was just kind of like, who was the bride? Now that I think about it, he probably was messing with other people early on before I even was. Because it's like, we had just met. So what is she talking? What? Like, what was she talking about? I'm just getting an epiphany now. Look, I done put my story together. See? It do be therapeutic talking stuff out. So basically, I had said, give me the phone. Let me say something back to her. So he was like, man, don't do that. Don't do that. I was like, yes, I am. I'm finna say something back to her. Because who's she talking about? So he was like, I got on there. I was like, excuse me. What I call her? Little mama? What I call her? Little something. So I was like, excuse me, who are you talking about? I was like, because I was just at your house, blah, 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 blah. And I sent my video. Sent it? Yes, I did. I sure did. That's one thing about me. I didn't care about going to the source. Because it's just like, now I'm not doing all of that. Because people be feeling some type of way. Whole time your relationship ain't working because you done talked to the wrong people about your relationship. But he probably was cheating anyway. That should have been like a red flag a little bit. Because now when she said that, the definition didn't say that a couple years ago. It said something else. Bride, the meaning for bride had said something else. It didn't say that. It said something else, right? So basically, I was just like, and so by the time, so I seen like a ding on his phone, meaning like she had text back. So I was like, okay, what'd she say? So he was just basically like, oh, and I played it out. I snatched it because I don't like people be just taking so long. Oh, you wasn't taking too long when you was being petty. So he was just like, oh, and then on her thing, she was like, she ended up saying something. Like, she said something like, oh, honey, I'm just not going to follow that up. She was like, but if you want to talk about it in person, we could talk about it. Do you think we ever talked about it in person? We never talked about it in person, and was around her so many other times. And that was just a thing. I just felt like, I don't know, like after that, I just felt like I really couldn't trust her. Like, maybe what he's saying about you is true, because I just didn't understand. Like, I never understood that a little bit, because I'm like, I'm around her. I don't know. It was just annoying. I just didn't get it. And so even his mama was just like, you can't pay her no mind. You just can't pay her no mind, and this and this. But the whole time, she probably knew something I didn't know. She knew something I didn't know. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this story. Hope y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all go like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all follow me on my social media so y'all keeping up with every time I post. Drop a heart. Drop a pink heart, drop a blue heart, drop a green heart, drop any type of heart, orange heart. Make sure we are like, sharing, and commenting. Bye, y'all.